Hello everybody, in this video today I'm going to talk to you about the advantages and the excitement about adopting a senior pet. My name is Dickenson and this channel is Reflections and Insights for Life Over 55. One of the first things that makes it a nice choice to adopt an older pet is because some of their personalities are already established. So when you go and you meet them for the first time, you kind of get a real glimpse of what their personality is going to be with. Whereas if you get a puppy or a kitten, their personality is not established yet and they could develop habits over time that you're not going to know about when you first meet the pet. So the established personality is a good thing, a good reason to adopt a senior pet. Another thing, which actually pertains a lot to us older people, us over 55 people, is you've got a lower energy level. So when you get a puppy, a lot of times they're very rambunctious. Sometimes in the bigger breeds, they could knock you over. I know recently my son adopted a 5-year-old Labrador Retriever, and even those dogs at 5 years old are very hyper still. You know, a Retriever, a Golden Retriever. So if you're getting a bigger dog like that, the lower energy personality could be good, especially if you're older, and a big Labrador with a high energy level jumping on top of you constantly could knock us over, and so it's good to have a lower energy animal. The third thing is a lot of the times a dog would already be somewhat trained, somewhat housebroken. Housebroken actually is very important, especially if you live in a home with a rug. Now, I want you to keep in mind that sometimes when you bring a housebroken pet into your home for the first time, they're really scared and they might have an accident or two, but generally the training on the dog is much faster if they've already been housebroken, already lived in a home, especially an inside dog. Number 4 is a lot of times they will be less destructive. You know how puppies like to chew on everything. The dogs are wandering around making the tripod go back and forth. Less destructive chewing behavior, less chewing up your shoes, less chewing up your furniture, less chewing up your rug, your landscaping, that kind of thing. So an older pet will maybe be already past the chewing stage, and that is definitely an advantage of getting a senior pet. Number 5 reason is a lot of times you have less separation and anxiety issues. Like a brand new puppy, if you go away for a few hours and leave the dog unattended or the kitty unattended, it could have separation and get destructive that way. You might have a problem leaving the dog alone, but an older dog should be able to handle the separation. Not always, but generally it seems like they handle separation better as an older dog or cat than they do a puppy or a kitten. Okay, number 6 is the pet's health issues are typically already established. When they come into a shelter, they've had an exam with a vet. If they have any bumps or anything out of the ordinary, the vet will have noted that. Another thing is some breeds get things like hip dysplasia when they're older. So if you've adopted a dog that's 10, you know it doesn't have hip dysplasia and it's not predisposition to that. So that's kind of a ease of a mind thing, especially if you have those breeds that are prone to certain health types. If you're already getting an older animal, you see that it's worked through those health types. Or if it's an older dog and it has the condition that is breed specific, you already know about it getting the animal and you can deal with that. It's a known condition going into it. Okay, reason number 7 to adopt an older mature pet is that you know what size it is already. Sometimes you get a puppy and you think it's going to be a tiny little fur ball puff and it turns out to grow 4 or 5 times and now you have a big dog that you weren't planning on, or vice versa. If you're anticipating a large dog and you don't know when it's a puppy if it's going to be large, but when you have an already established aged mature pet, you know what size it's going to be, and so that can help you for your planning and it has no surprises later on down the road 6 months from now when it quadruples in size. Number 8 is sometimes a mature personality in a pet is more aligned with us older people. So, you know, we're older, we aren't always out there running marathons or hiking on mountains, and so maybe we would prefer to have a pet that's kind of more of a couch potato, might want to go on a slow, leisurely walk rather than, you know, a super fast-paced walk. So the mature personality, sometimes you've got a calmer pet, sometimes those pets are better with the kids when you have the grandkids come over. So the mature personality for your pet is another advantage of adopting a senior animal. Okay, number 9 is the bonding. Sometimes the bonding with an older pet. I don't know if this is true, but I've had many older pets that I've adopted, and my favorite one was Buster. He was a 10-year-old black pug, and he had been left back in like 2010 when people were getting evicted from their houses. Somebody had just moved out and left him in a home, and so here we have this 10-year-old dog left in a home. I adopted him. I had him for about 4 years. We had wonderful 3 years. I bonded so closely with him, and it just seems like, did he know that I saved his life? I don't know, but it seems like the closeness you can get with an older pet. I don't know, maybe they realize what you've done for them. Maybe I just imagined it, but that bonding situation was really nice when I adopted Buster, and I certainly would miss him. And then finally, number 10. My number 10th reason, which is a good reason, is you're saving a life of a poor abandoned animal. Sometimes these dogs go into the shelters. Some of the shelters only give them a short time to get adopted out, and if they don't get adopted within a couple of weeks or a month, they get euthanized and they get put on the E-list. And that's very sad when you have a wonderful dog personality, but because it's old, it gets overlooked many times, and it could have been a great addition to your family. So saving a pet's life, that is another great reason, and I hope you consider the next time you're looking for a furry companion that you would go to the shelter and look for an older senior pet to bring home and have it join your family.